Hello and welcome to In the Weeds. We're recording live from the Picky Weeds Esoteric Occult Boutique, located just south of Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, in beautiful South Abington Township. Picky Weeds is the largest and most diverse boutique of its kind in Northeast.
In addition to items for sale, Picky Weeds hosts a wide variety of classes, events, and community-driven gatherings throughout the year. Picky Weeds is located at 105 Layton Road, South Abington Township, PA. Open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. More information can be found at www.pickyweeds.com. That's PICKEYWEEDZ.com, or on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. In the Weeds is the official podcast for Picky Weeds, where we strive to bring the community together with topics of interest, guest speakers.
If you'd like to be a guest speaker, either live or remote call-in, please visit www.pickyweeds.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, find In the Weeds podcast guest application, click it, copy and paste the text into an email with your contact information, and send it to us at pickyweeds@gmail.com.
Now let's get in the weeds. Good morning, guys. So it's season 2, episode 36. And after about, a 3-week hiatus, we're back.
Yeah, give or take.
We decided that we thought it would be fun to pass the flu and probably RSV back and forth. No COVID, but whatever this was, oh my God, it's an herbalist. I had to throw everything on the wall at it because the symptoms were that varied.
It fucking sucked.
Oh my God, it started in the stomach. It went up into the head, and then down into the chest, and then back up into the head. And now it's like irritated my gastrointestinal system so bad that I'm having to live on things for hiatal hernia and acid reflux. And I'm like, thanks. I was healthy, But yeah, whatever this is a pretty nasty variant. So if you get it, you're going to have to be prepared to treat a range of symptoms. But let me tell you the one thing that you really, really need to have in your cabinet right now this season.
Liquor.
Yeah, liquor. No, I can't even drink that anymore. It's sad. It gives me the worst acid reflux. It kept me up all night the other night from one little finger.
I slept like a
finger of rye. Whistle pig is my love and my joy, and I cannot have it anymore. I can't whine either, so, it's just like the universe went, hey, screw you, sit down.
So anyway, you were talking about the herbs.
Take many, many seats, yes. I was talking about the herbs. So the biggie, for right now, besides golden seal, which we know the efficacy of that, is echinacea. But listen, there's a trick with echinacea. I see everybody talking about we're making it and we're drinking it as a preventative and we're making the syrup and stuff like that. No. Don't waste your echinacea that way, guys. So the echinacea and the elderberry, they are used at the time that you are actually viral. All right. So when the body starts to have the fevers and the chills and stuff like that, reach for the elderberry and the echinacea. And then make your syrups and your tinctures or have them ahead. Then take them and then drink them, but not ahead of it, please. Elderberry literally as an antiviral is amazing. It cuts the viral load in half. And I think Alan asked me the other week, what's the viral load? It's when the body has so much virus in it that you're starting to show other symptoms of viral activity, coughs, some fevers, sweats, chills. So it's a heavy viral load. When something can cut that in half, if you're just patient and wait until you're actually feverish to take it, you'd be crazy not to. So we started throwing, throat therapy tea at it up here because it's full of like elderberry and lemongrass and stuff like that and echinacea.
And it tastes good.
Yeah, it's amazing. And echinacea, that's good for respiratory infections like the common cold. And it too does reduce the severity and the longevity of it along with the elderberry. And then golden seal, that is so rich in berberine, it makes it an extremely strong antibacterial agent, and it's also good for gastrointestinal infections, which I'm going to have to make a tincture today because I've got to be pumping that stuff because of what happened with this thing. It left me with what we call a secondary bacterial infection. So just remember, during these things, what happens is you get your first infection, you get from the virus, you get that viral infection component, and then you end up with secondary infections, and they're usually bacterial. So you're going to want to treat a broad spectrum of things, and then you're also going to want to treat things like inflammation and kind of an asthmatic reaction. You get these histamine reactions I was talking about earlier. So turmeric, ginger, those are great for the anti-inflammatories to help take some of the swelling down and the pain and stuff like that. And then thyme, I was burning this at the old shop during COVID because the oil of thyme in the diffuser is a little component of it. It's called thymol, and it kills bacteria on surfaces in the air. So all during COVID, after we came back after our 3-month hiatus there, I was burning thymol throughout the shop. And people didn't realize it because, the scent of our incense and everything covered it. But the thyme was killing y'all's germs. I was keeping yours nasties outside. And I need to start doing it again, I guess, because I don't know what this is here this year. This is a very odd virus. I just want everybody to be on the lookout. And you all know the score. You can use the oregano. That's another one that has thymol. And it also has a lot of antimicrobial activity against pathogens, including bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Be careful with oregano if you don't know what you're doing. Manuka honey is renowned for its healing properties. It's the strongest honey in the world. You can get it in varying degrees of strength, too. So be aware of that. And don't buy the baseline Manuka honey and pay way too much for it because the prescription is available. The prescription strength is available out there. So just do your due diligence and look for it. Licorice root, it's used to treat respiratory infections. Neem as well. Oral infections, skin infections, digestive issues. And then we were already talking about some other things here this year, and some people kept asking me about garlic mustard because it grows wild up here. I've been trying to buy this in bulk, and it's near to damn impossible to find. So maybe next year, since we have so much in our yard, I'll just grab some and dry it. And then we'll have it for the rest of the year. But that's really good for a lot of various bacterial strains, both internally and topically. So you've got a lot of choices. Cat's claw is kind of amazing. It's an immune modulating antimicrobial. So it'll actually boost the immune system, and it's a natural remedy for infections. So I won't go through the whole list today because we're going to do an herb class next week, and we're going to put it out here. I'm going to teach John. He's going to ask questions. He's going to be the student, and we're going to do it live. It's going to be fun. He's going to give me hell, I'm sure. But this has been a year already. And here, what was this snowstorm? Was that the heaviest freaking snow you've ever seen in your life?
What's with the internet going out 2 days after the snowstorm and then blaming, well, there's severe weather in your area? No, motherfucker, there is not.
That was 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Welcome to 2 days.
Put the gerbil back on the fucking roller thing and let's go.
What about telling the truth? Somebody hit one of your boxes.
Or
somebody was removing trees and knocked me. What about telling the truth? What's that, corporate America? Have you ever heard this word, TRUTH? Have you heard it?
But when you try to call, then the robocall doesn't understand anything, doesn't recognize your account, doesn't recognize your phone number, doesn't do any. Oh, you have 2 accounts? What?
How the hell did that happen? I don't know. Business and home.
It's like really confusing for them because it's not on their script apparently. And then by the time you do 10 minutes later get a human, it's some person in another country that has no real understanding of anything.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Well, they're forced to read, and we know this from having trained them ourselves, John. They're forced to read that script.
They read the script.
And they're not allowed to go off it.
What happened to good old-fashioned customer service? I mean, can you not hire enough people in this country to answer the phone?
There's a lot of people I know need work.
They're
starving and need work.
It is the most infuriating thing as a customer is to try to get help. And you got to wade through electronic menus that are horribly set up. that have diarrhea of the mouth. They have to give their privacy policy while they're. I don't give a shit about
And they
your
give
privacy
it every
policy.
time you make a selection.
Just let me talk to a human so I can get my interwebs back.
Select one.
You ignorant motherfuckers.
Let's tell you about our privacy policy once again. Select two.
You know, yeah, we're gonna send you a survey. Yes, send me a survey. I got a survey for you.
I got something to say.
Dumbasses.
But the AI, everybody's worried about artificial intelligence. If you want a good laugh and you want to, kind of abate some of that worry, just go talk to some of their AI on these customer service lines.
Oh, for God's sakes.
It's oh God. Has it no dignity?
And they even put fake typing in.
Yeah.
Like that's like they're typing on a
that was
mechanical
Comcast
keyboard.
today. I was like, what the hell was that, John?
What are you doing? just I mean, if you're gonna have to do a robocall to route calls or whatever, keep it simple. Bella just ran into a shelf and was like, fuck.
That's not yours.
It is so infuriating to try to get help, and especially like the folks that lost power. I can't even imagine the frustration when you're sitting in a cold house, your food's rotting in your fridge, and you got to deal with some fucking AI crap robot
that doesn't recognize your phone number.
And they wonder why people are so frustrated, and it's like, we understand it takes a while. There was some catastrophic damage. There was trees down everywhere. We get that. I don't think anybody listening doesn't understand that it takes time. But have a human that I can talk to, and don't make me wade through 10 minutes of bullshit.
Or at least have a message about the storm where it detects what zip code you're calling from. Or it can give you more information.
An accurate message. The message was winter weather. Well, no shit. We got almost 16 inches of snow here in Abingtons?
Yes.
Yeah, we know. I just shoveled that heavy ass shit. I know what's out there. But tell me what the hell is wrong with your gerbil and get it back on the wheel.
Exactly.
The people that when we work from home, that's cutting into people's livelihoods.
It is. It absolutely is.
And
it's disgusting.
You can't connect, and your bosses aren't going to understand. And they're like, well, figure it out. So you got to go sit somewhere with Wi-Fi to do your. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
And you know what's bad is the monopoly that they are.
Yeah.
Because anybody else, like if you're a small business and you provide that kind of lack of service and that kind of hostility towards your customer, you're not going to be in business very long. You can't make mistakes and you can't be human and have a bad moment because it's going to reflect on your business.
Absolutely.
But with corporate America, because they own so much property in the corporate system around here, they own all the lines. They've got all the purchase power, all the buying power. The people don't have a choice, and so you end up having to put up with bad service. And we need to do something about this. There's a law against monopolies in this country, but they don't enforce them because those people are in those senators' pockets, those congressmen's pockets, those local legislators' pockets.
Yep, absolutely.
And you see it a lot. And you've seen it recently in the tax bill here. I'm just saying that smells very corrupt to me when you hire somebody, a company, to go out and do these assessments on all this property, and you pay them millions. Look it up, guys. Millions of dollars to do this, so that you can raise our taxes because you don't have enough money coming in for your budget. Where's the stink? Does anybody smell the bullshit in that? Because if you had bills you couldn't pay, why did you pay Tyler millions of dollars to go around throughout Lackawanna County and reassess the property? You should have used that millions of dollars where it was needed in your community. This stinks. Something smells, and it needs to be investigated.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through it too. It was like a couple weeks ago. I was going out to do something, and I heard water spraying where it should not have been.
Yeah.
Near a boiler. Late at night, and one of the valves gave way.
Yeah.
And we had water spraying everywhere. And I tried calling all of these corporate fuckhead companies that emergency service after hours, call us 24 hours a day,
yeah,
blah, blah,
right.
blah, 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 blah. I call them, I get have to put a voicemail in, and then their voice message box was full. I'm like, oh, that's great. Good planning. Here's this
great corporate structure.
Huge corporation, right?
Very efficient.
Millions and millions of dollars, and you can't have somebody check your voicemail box just to see if there's anybody there leaving a message or if it's full. There's emergency hours. Leave a voice message. Voice message box is full. That is not what you want to hear when you have water spraying all over your boiler.
No, sorry, bub.
And it wasn't just one. It was 2, 3, 4, every one of them I called, and I'm going down the list. And let me tell you, I found a local guy.
Stephen Floyd.
It's After Hours Mechanical. He not only did he answer the phone at dark o'clock, he walked me through how to make the boiler safe, how to stop the leak before ever even charging me a thing. And then he came out the very next day, and he had it fixed within, I don't know, he was so lightning fast.
I know, it was
and
crazy.
Professional and just...
It wasn't even an hour.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between a corporate, big conglomerate, lumbering bag of shit
And a mom and pop.
and compared to a local guy just doing the right thing the right way. And he's amazing. So I'm going to give a shout out to After Hours Mechanical. His phone number is 570-955-7999. His name is Steve. If you have a problem with any part of your HVAC or plumbing, call that man.
He's amazing.
He's incredible. And, you know, he diagnosed as we had other issues come up. Apparently, I don't know if it was Lackawanna County or it was just the Abingtons. Whoever made the decision to replace all the water lines, that's great. They need to be replaced. They jacked the PSI on the water lines up. So the PSI on water inside our house was 125.
Yeah.
It's
Insane.
supposed to be 65 to 75.
Yeah.
And apparently they put out a notice in their bills, which doesn't do people on auto pay any good because I don't get a bill.
You're on auto pay, so you don't waste trees.
So I had no fucking idea, and I'm not a plumber, so
Yeah.
I don't know what the PSI was supposed to be. I do now, thanks to Steve. Put a gauge on it. It was 125. He's like, holy shit. He said, yeah, this is happening to everybody in this area.
And the insurance not paying for it.
And if you have the line insurance through the water company, they won't cover it because you don't have a pressure reducing system.
It's insane.
You know how much a pressure reducing system costs? About $600.
Yeah.
And then if it blows any other parts, like it did ours, blew our expansion tank up, it blew the valve up. So we got $1,000 in this.
Yeah.
But Steve came out, knocked that shit out, put in a reducing system. Our PSI is now 65. And you could feel the whole house breathe a sigh of relief, you know.
And it equalized the pressures, so we have good heat everywhere, and it's not weird zones.
Yeah. It fixed all the problems we were having with like toilet valves and pumps screwing up and all kinds of things.
Didn't he say somebody's toilet blew through the ceiling of their bathroom?
The water pressure had created a leak under the toilet and it rotted the floor and the toilet fell through the floor.
Oh, that's insane.
So when he walked in, there was a gaping hole. He said, well, I see where your problem is. But
that didn't take a rocket scientist.
You can type in HVAC near me in this area and you're going to come up with dozens and dozens of companies. And I'm sure there's other good ones, but look, he's not paying us nothing. This guy is a fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Knows what he's doing, and is so professional and so fast, and he's affordable.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not raking you over the coals.
It's so beautiful what he did in our lunch room.
Oh,
And he
his
thought I
pipe
was
work.
going to be upset, but it was gorgeous. It's all copper and pretty.
Some idiot in the divine wisdom put the fucking water meter right in the middle of the basement.
In the middle of the house.
In the middle of the house. You know, it's supposed to be over towards the edge, right? No. Let's put it in a little wooden box next to the downstairs bathroom because that's smart.
Yeah.
So he had to retrofit a bunch of shit and get creative with some piping.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty. It was really pretty.
Long story short, and look, we called all the big people, and they either wouldn't take the call, wouldn't answer the phone, or their voice message box was full.
Yeah.
And this man answered. I was texting him pictures. He's like, "All right, pull that valve. Okay, show me what this." He walked me through everything.
Sweetheart.
You know, and so
He doesn't want you to worry. And he calls after the sale.
Yeah.
And sees how things are doing. That was impressive. He called.
He even followed up. How's the heat? How's everything going? Any leaks? Anything issues? Like, really gives a shit.
Yeah, he cares
You
about
know,
his customer.
and that is so fucking rare nowadays.
Yeah.
That
It's very old world service, and I just love him.
yeah,
It's awesome.
Cannot recommend him enough. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And have nothing to say about the corporate fucking douchebags around here.
I can't believe they did that. I mean, like, anybody that's on paperless is on paperless because what was the joke I saw the other day that people cut down trees to write notes about saving trees. Yeah. Paperless means paperless. We've got another, like the gas company. We've tried to go paperless for them. I don't know how many damn times. So we're on auto pay, but we still get a bill every month. We keep telling them paperless. And it still hasn't happened. We're still getting a bill.
You know, and I'm sure somebody's, well, you guys were in corporate. Yeah, we were. So we know how fucked up it is. Mm-hmm. You know, and look, there's a lot of shit corporate gets right.
Yes.
There is a lot of good things to come out of that kind of structure. There's also a whole lot of nonsense that is approved in meetings with yes people. That yep, that looks good because they just can't wait to get the fuck out of the room.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly frustrating. But yeah, there is some good parts to corporate. I mean, metrics do serve a purpose to kind of gauge where you're going, and you know, you have your pre-planning, your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan, and
good legal structure.
And yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's good common sense. But unfortunately, when you get to a certain point, you get so big that one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing, and you end up either doing double work or no work.
Yeah.
And who suffers? The customer.
Yeah.
The customer suffers. And I wish that people would not worry so much about deliverables and worry so much about the customer experience, because after all, that's why you're there.
That's your bread and butter.
That's what keeps the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we took those lessons from corporate and abandoned the shit that didn't work.
Yeah.
Because the mom and pop getting to know your customers, you know, and you know, being understanding and listening and those kind of things you only get from local service.
There's so many out here, though, John, that think they're too big to fail. They've not learned the lessons of big pharma. They've not learned the lessons of big companies like GM and all the loss there. But they really do. They get too big for their britches, and they think they're too big to fail. Yep. And you see that a lot in the likes of Musk and Bezos. You see that a lot in the likes of Walmart. You are not too big to fail.
No.
Pretty soon, another one's going to come along.
Yep.
Another one with the buying power of you. You know, another one with morals and ethics, and they care about their customers. And you're going to be a dinosaur.
Well, look at the migration from Twitter just this last week.
It
was
like
Blue Sky. 1 million users a day to Blue Sky. And we're on Blue Sky as well, if you want to follow us there. We're cross-posting there now every day, the same things that we've been putting out on the shitty Meta platforms.
Yeah. I hate them so much.
I hate Meta, and I would love for Blue Sky to just take right the fuck off, and hopefully it will, because they're a grassroots structure too. They're open
AI
source
sucks.
code.
I mean,
they don't put any of the bullshit algorithms in it to try to push ads onto you. I mean, it's fabulous. So if you haven't tried Blue Sky, I highly recommend.
And I think you can host on your own servers.
There's so much more.
It's amazing.
It's much more for the community. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's still a corporation, let's be honest, but the product,
he owned Twitter.
The product itself is so much more community based, rather than corporate. I want to sell you something based. And I know that sounds funny coming from a retail store.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, look, we use advertising in you know, sporadic amounts, but it's not a, you know, bait and switch to get you in. So I mean, if we're advertising something, it's legitimate. You know, a lot of these Meta ads that you get pushed on you, you know, you're like, these motherfuckers are listening to my phone, and I do believe that you are right. They probably are listening.
Yeah, because I've turned the speaker off, and they still listen.
Yeah, you know, they, at the very least, they're following your search data.
Yeah,
you know, and monetizing it. So everything you post online is monetized. You know, look at Twitter's wanting to develop AI using people's images and people's posts and stuff, and Blue Sky doesn't do that.
That's a dangerous slippery slope. They use people's images.
Yeah.
You know, because you can frame it. If you've seen how good AI has gotten lately, and it wasn't good during the election because I could tell that the audio didn't match the mouth.
Yeah.
You know, but some of it's really terrifyingly good if they're trying, and you've got good, you know, people that are good at this kind of scripting. But yeah, they can make you say and do anything and destroy you with a keystroke.
Speaking of the election.
Yeah. The acquiescing of a certain morning show that sounds like coffee and cigarettes. That's how his name sounds. Going down there and kissing the ring. This is how dictators take power.
Yeah.
Acquiescing from the start and not resisting from the start and acquiescing in fear of losing your morning show, you, sir, are a shyster and a turd.
Well, you can tell they were never genuine to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. All the posturing.
And, we all often say two wings of the same bird. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much true.
It's the death knell for that.
But the fear in the community, and it hasn't been just one person. It's been many people were coming in tears. People were coming in fear. And rightfully so. I'm not making that small.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not making light of anything.
I get it because of the horror show on paper, right? When you read that shit that they're trying to do and that they are doing right now, it's way beyond concerning, But we have to bear in mind the big picture, and so. When you consider the source, right? So if a competent, intelligent person was making those threats, that might be scary. And I'm not saying that they won't try to push the shit through.
They will just try some of it,
But we're talking about a group of people that isn't smart enough to tie their own shoes, much less coordinate logistically on an enterprise level. They're just, they're stupid.
Yeah. It's a clown show. It's a literal clown show.
Look at the nominees.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing now, and they're not even in power yet.
McMahon for education.
Really, it's ridiculous. The most unqualified idiots. And look, there are plenty of qualified Republicans out there.
Yes, oh my God.
And
some of them are fighting them back.
And here's the thing.
I love this.
It's the actual Eisenhower Republicans, the ones that are for fiscal conservancy. They're not really interested in what you do in your bedroom. They're not really interested. They're
interested in protecting their wallet.
They're interested in their money and above all.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not interested in the clown show that we had administration before last. Not that the previous was that great either, but the absolute clown car that we had is getting ready to load up again.
Yeah.
And
who didn't he fire?
You can tell by the choices being made that there's no... It's a popularity contest. It's not a
it's a who can kiss the ring the best.
Yeah,
it literally is. Can you bend a knee and do you have any teeth?
You're putting people in charge of departments. They have no understanding of anything, how anything works. So everybody's in fear and they're worried that the sky is falling because the absolute worst thing happened, right? But consider the source.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe back up and look at it big picture. These are dumb motherfuckers.
They really are stupid. Yeah.
I forgot my drink.
He's going to get mine. But yeah, no, you got to lay down the fear and remember that resisting is key. And there are a lot of Republicans on that floor right now that are moderate Republicans that are blocking them at every freaking turn. And I couldn't be more proud of those people for standing their ground, because this is not the Republican Party. This is MAGA. This is like this weird morphing of the Tea Party with fringe libertarian politics. Not libertarians. Some libertarians are moderate and middle and have great ideas, but that's Bella barking at Republicans. Bella
is very upset.
And so you gotta lay down some of the fear and realize that the more you show fear and the more you bend the knee and kiss the ring, the worse it's going to get. So it's really, the resistance is up to us, folks.
Yeah.
And we resist what we don't want. We resist what we don't deserve, and we must resist at all costs.
And look, like I told one of our customers yesterday, it's time to witch up.
Yes, absolutely.
It's time to pull the fucking cloak hood up over your head.
Yeah.
And get down to business.
Yes.
This isn't the era of love and light.
No.
This is the era of get things done.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and it's not a pretty song.
No. Well, anytime a movement's in its death throes, and this movement is in its death throes, things get ugly, and we lived through the 80s, The 80s is an out pagan or occult practitioner.
Oh, it's absolutely heinous.
You know, with satanic panic going on.
Horrifying.
And these fundamentalist dipshits fucking running off at the mouth at every damn thing that pops into their head.
Trying to kill us.
You know.
Killing some of us.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
So for those of you that did not live through that era, buckle up.
Yeah, it's gonna get bumpy.
Because that's where we're at right now, and we need to look out for everyone. You know, brothers and sisters, our marginalized communities, our trans people. We need to circle the wagons.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean that you have to live in fear.
No.
You.
That means you work in darkness.
Yeah.
Do you understand me when I say you work in darkness? You are behind the scenes. You are Oz. You are pulling the strings.
That's what we've always been.
Yes.
We've never been at the forefront. We
Yeah.
never wanted the spotlight. We
No.
never wanted people to know who we were.
No.
It wasn't a popularity contest.
Yeah, matter of fact,
And-
this whole witch out movement was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, every role I've ever had has been that.
Yeah.
I never had the position of power, but had the ear of those that did.
Yes.
And when you have the ear of those you did and you gain their trust because you're being genuine, you're not being disingenuous, but you gain their trust because you make sound decisions and you know how to comport yourself in different arenas.
Yeah.
You know, you have to change your words. You have to change the way your body language exhibits your intentions.
Shapeshifter.
You have to be
Yeah.
a chameleon.
Yes, you do.
But you can't be a shitty chameleon because they will see right through you.
Yes.
You have to be real enough to get things done.
I cite Spider in Game of Thrones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I loved him.
That's
Loved him
what
so
being
much.
a witch is
Yeah.
in these
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
You smile in the face of the enemy. You nod your head in approval.
Yes.
And then you pull the
You
levers behind the
compliment
curtain.
them, and then you drop them to the door. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a trap door right there behind
That
you.
is how you get
Yeah,
things
yeah.
done. And I have to find out what this dog is raising hell about.
So, guys, going forward, let's not shriek and curl up in fear and curl up in tears. I know, but the time of crying is gone. Now comes the call to action. And it's well known if you study the rise of authoritarian regimes and dictatorships that what gave them all the power was the people. And that's always been true. So try to look at some history, take some notes, and realize what you need to do as a resistance and how you need to play these games, because these are moves you have to make, and you have to make them quietly. And I know your impetus is to, because we've been such an open, talky, chatty society about all of our feelings and all the issues that we see, and we've been very open about that, and we thought that that was good and healthy. Well, in a dictatorship, an authoritarian regime, that is not good, nor is it healthy. That's a means to get you killed. So you've got to kind of learn to keep your silence and hold things tight to your chest and make your moves in the darkness. In other words, as John said, you have to learn to witch up. And he went and rallied the puppy back. And I think she's upset that she hears somebody moving around and she's not used to anybody being here on Sunday but us. But yeah, yeah. But you really do have to learn how to witch. And that's to bend things and contort them into what you want them to be. And you do that by pulling on the levers of power behind the scenes while no one is watching.
This isn't put things in a jar.
No, this is not.
This isn't a binding spell
No.
or any of that crap.
No,
Okay, this is actually manipulating things.
it is.
When you have people trying to implement things that are threatening the lives of the people that you love, you manipulate those.
Yes.
Do you do some work esoterically? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, read Doreen Valiente.
Yes.
Read Sybil Leek.
Yes.
Read the witches that were actively working against the Nazis
Yes.
back in World War II.
Doreen Valiente, the code breaker with Alan Turing.
This is what we mean.
They saved the world, literally, from the Nazis.
You know, did they work magic? Absolutely. But they weren't making jar spells.
But we
okay?
also know that magic is politics.
Absolutely.
And so you have to learn how to speak to people. You have to learn how to influence them. So part of your job as a witch is influence. And what you're trying to do is insert your will into that influence and change the flow of the situation and change the energy in the moment. So don't curl up and do not acquiesce.
Yeah, the white girl magic isn't what we need now.
No, we don't need that love
Those
and
are
light.
for times of peace when everything's great
And joyful.
and you can play your harp by the stream and la da 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 da.
Yes.
Da. No, this is not that time.
No.
This is the time when we lock and load and get things done.
The time for that's at the end of the day when we've taken all the heads and we've put them on the pikes and everybody just needs a relaxing moment of zen.
Yep.
And so you're sitting around the fire and the bard is playing and singing a beautiful, pretty little song and everybody's relaxing and drinking some mead. But all the heads are on the pikes outside the tent.
Yeah, because part of your responsibility as in this community is for the community.
Yeah.
And if you're not working to protect the community, if you're not working to advance and secure the rights of the community, then what are you even doing? Mm-hmm. You know, spell work is very base.
Yeah.
Okay, the actual occultist, the person that studies all aspects of the occult, is more interested in bigger things.
Yeah.
Things that require thought and strategic planning and strengthening the bonds of those that need it.
Absolutely.
You know, I am tired of seeing people coming in tears with defeat on their face.
You're not defeated.
Now is not the time.
No.
And if you know someone like that, then you need to wrap your arms around them and lift them up.
Yes.
So that they know they're not alone.
Put them on the path. Show them the actual light.
You know, we will endure through this. We
Yes.
will come out the other side.
We always do.
Yeah,
They always think they can wipe us out.
They have
never
a
do.
very limited scope and understanding of what it is even to be an occultist, to even be a witch. They base it off of Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
And nothing could be further from the truth.
No.
It is not like that at all. And I hope we've kind of touched on that subject where maybe it's starting to sink in.
Yeah.
We're not saying don't do magic. Absolutely not. Do what you can with what you have. But the greater goal in mind is to put to bed this ugliness, this debauchery of humanity that
Absolutely.
we're witnessing now. The most debaucherous of people are being elevated to positions of power and influence and authority. But here's the problem. You could be put in the position, but you have to be competent enough to keep it.
That's it.
You have to be understanding of what you're doing to actually do anything,
Yeah.
even evil. You can't do evil if you're an incompetent dipshit.
Nope.
Yet we keep putting the most incompetent in these positions, hoping that they will do evil. That's what their plan is.
Yes.
Oh, you hate the EPA? Well, guess what? You're in charge of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit more to it than that, guys, and you're going to have some obstruction from, people of your own party that don't stand for debauchery. They stand there. They have class. They have understanding of things, and they understand the importance of why things are in place as they have been.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be disrupted. You're going to disrupt everything, and when you take their money away,
Oh.
you think you got problems? 500s put their crosshairs on you.
Yes.
What they're forgetting is when you push them around too much, that uber powerful could be your problem.
Yes.
And that's the part that they're not paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
I've known many legal counsels and worked with many legal teams. And let me tell you, they are the best of the best.
Yes.
The best of the best.
Absolutely.
They will eat your fucking soul.
They are the monsters of your worst nightmares.
They will eat your brains
They
like
really
jam
are. Yeah.
and go play a round of golf.
Yeah.
So they some of these corporations are vile and blah 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 blah. Some of them aren't.
Yeah.
The one I work for is not vile.
No.
Did they do everything right? No.
No.
But they did a lot right.
But
But the issue with them, no matter how many other screw ups or missteps or whatever, their main goal was to be a progressive company.
Yes.
It was to be a upstanding member of the financial business
they
community.
were a forward together kind of place.
Absolutely. And it was the one and only place I've ever worked at that level that truly was that.
Yes.
Did they accomplish that goal all the time? No. Did they fall short a lot? Yeah.
Humanity gets in the way a little.
Big lumbering organization, and one hand doesn't know what the other's doing, but their intent was always, from what I could tell, spending years there and rubbing elbows with the upper echelon, was that their intent was pure.
Yes, it was.
They wanted to do the right thing the right way, and it didn't always work out, but their intent was always that.
Their intent was always good corporate governance. It really was.
I've worked for others that I thought I was in a scene from Mad Men.
Yes, oh my God.
Literally had a fifth of scotch in the desk because things were so fucked up.
God. It's insane. The campus even looked like it was out of an episode of Mad Men.
Absolutely.
Mad Men.
You could have hosted scenes there.
Yeah.
It was completely like that.
Insane.
So not all corporations are inherently evil.
You've worked for a corporation that you visited one of their sister corporations, and they still had a blacks only water fountain.
Yeah, no, that was a disgusting bag of shit.
They said it was for historical purposes.
Yeah, okay.
But it's in the South. So you tell me what it was actually for and what they were,
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah. Don't wave that flag at me.
I was going to get a sledgehammer and your brother stopped me.
Oh, I wouldn't. He wouldn't stop me. I'd hit him with a sledgehammer.
Tear that shit right off the wall.
No, and see, guys, you've got to remember that, all of your witchcraft is weaving. It's weaving. You're weaving together stories, and you're weaving together people, and you're weaving together intent and will. But you have to remember there's a thread of destiny running through that, and you have to tend it like a garden. Mm-hmm. And you have to remember every little facet of every little argument that you might have on either side of that point in the weave. And you have to bring all those into alignment. So you have to learn to work both sides of the aisle, no matter how much it puts distaste in your mouth, because there are good people on both sides. And you have to find those and align with them. Are you laughing at me? There are good people on both sides of the line. There's good on the left. There's good on the right. And there's absolute shit on both sides and absolute evil on both sides. Yeah. You have to form coalitions within that. And you have to do, God, I hate saying this, nation building there.
Yeah, and look, don't confuse that with a quote from his Cheeto-ness.
Yeah, no.
The point of that is his working alongside people. You may not agree with them on everything. You may not have the same spirituality. You may not have the same ideology. You may not be the same. But both of you hold a common goal, and,
yes.
and that's one of peace, and that's one of not going after marginalized communities or people that have already suffered enough with the nonsense from the fundamentalists.
And I can think of about 15 Republicans sitting up there right now.
Yeah.
That are those exact people.
Absolutely.
The whole aim is, peace and progress.
Well, they don't agree with your life choices, but they won't pass laws to prohibit it. Okay. Mm. That's the difference.
Yes.
Right. And, one of the differences. But the ones that are trying to pass laws to prevent it, most of them are projecting anyway.
You're laughing at me and listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
It sounded like a Cheeto quote.
It did sound like a Cheeto quote, but that was intended. Yeah. So listen, guys, it is that way.
Stand by and stand down. Yeah. Eat a dick.
Yeah. But listen, it has to be done this way. So you have to start forming those alliances on both sides right now. And it needed to be done before this. And I think this is why we are the way we are. It's why we love our customers of all stripes and all religions and all politics and all cultures, because we do learn so much. And the biggest thing we've learned is that everybody pretty much wants the same damn thing out of life.
Yeah. Yeah. But the problem is some people got sucked into the cult.
Yeah, they did.
And everything out of their mouth is just a regurgitation of talking points.
But I want to say what you said when this happened. The night that it happened, the day that it happened, he said they're like the dog that caught the car.
Oh, absolutely.
Now what are they going to do with it? And that's going to be the fun part. And that is the fun part. I'm thoroughly enjoying watching them eat each other already. So.
It's like I told him last night. I'm like, dude, just get you a big bag of popcorn.
Yes.
Roll you a blunt.
Yep.
Sit on the couch and just watch the bitch burn.
Yes.
Because they have no idea what to do with what they caught. No. And they have no one else to blame because they have everything.
Well, he idolizes people like Putin and Orban and Un. Kim Jong-un. And so he idolizes those people and he thinks he can be those people. But the one little complicating factor that he seems to have forgotten in his idolization of these nations is their people didn't have guns.
Yeah.
And their people weren't trying to use them. And all of ours do.
Only MAGAs have guns, right?
Yeah. I got news for you, buddy.
Think again, sugar britches.
Sugar britches.
Castle doctrine works both ways, baby.
Aren't you just the cutest little thing? You're just a darling, precious point of light.
It's and that's a very good point.
Yeah.
But also the point of catching the car.
Yeah.
We caught it. Now what?
Nothing.
Well,
Don't know what the
I
hell
nominate the WWE person to be. What the fuck, dude? Are you a complete idiot?
The head of the Department of Education, Linda McMahon. I roared. I was like, "What the fuck? Really? That's."
I mean, if that doesn't tell you the level of stupidity that we're dealing with, and the lack of pre-planning or even cognizance, they have nothing. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Sit back and watch the motherfucker burn. And we're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
All of us are.
Yeah.
We're not exempt. All of us are gonna suffer.
We are.
But the thing is, we know it.
Yes.
They don't.
They don't.
They think they're immune and they're going to have their way now and they got it all and everything's great and he's going to make America great again. And okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll see.
When you start tampering with them veterans benefits.
Yeah.
And they didn't know you were going to do that.
We did. My favorite part is, I'm so glad they're going to get rid of Obamacare. They going to keep the ACA. You stupid motherfucker.
It is the same thing.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right? The shit hits the wall. You regurgitated those talking points. You were rah, rah, rah. And now all of a sudden your company called you in and now you don't have a job.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you got to be one of those people on unemployment that
and that's happening already in lieu of the tariffs.
And it's going to happen more.
They're terrified of the tariffs in January.
And more. And when you're unemployed, now the bread line next to us, then maybe you'll understand what we were trying to say.
And God, I got to say, I've been trying to buy herbs and stuff ahead because I'm already seeing the effect of this in that venue. I'm seeing prices raise. I'm seeing things go out of stock that normally aren't out of stock this time of year. I've been at this a while as an herbalist, about 40 years. This is strange. This is strange, but these are factors that I knew were going to come into play.
You didn't just do a Udemy course?
Not at all, boo-boo.
My Southern stuck.
I tried that Udemy course. It was bullshit, and it'll get somebody killed.
Yeah. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Rosemary Gladstar, please.
Yes. Rosemary Gladstar. There's several good schools out there.
Cornell.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm thinking about it. They've been romancing me for 2 or 3 years now.
They need to romance our wallet.
Yeah, well,
they were expensive.
They were actually less expensive than some of these so-called internet ones, and I won't name them, but they're heinous.
Yeah.
They were about $3,000, and I get my clinical, and the other one was about $8,000.
And I see a lot of people cheering his choice of RFK.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
I am too, completely.
Because on one side, he's a fucking lunatic.
And on the other side, he's got some very salient points.
But on the other side, he's got some points. So, I mean, even a stop clock is right twice a day, right?
Yep.
So, we'll see. We'll see. And the FDA does need reform.
If he's persona non grata with his own family, and they've always been a political powerhouse family, but his own family didn't want him in there when they wanted every one of them in there, then you need to stop and think, what in the hell?
They're also establishment, too.
Yeah, they are establishment. Yeah. But listen, they've had to pay his way for how many years?
Yeah.
They've had to bail him out how many times?
He's a fucking lunatic.
He's caused so much trouble for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy mother of God, drug abuse.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, dude, your family was against you. We need some answers to those questions. What the hell is going on in that family?
Yeah. But that family's got all kinds of...
They do. They got all kinds of skeletons in that closet.
They got a graveyard full of skeletons in their closet.
Oh, my God.
But,
but I mean, they tried to block him.
He's got some good points.
He does.
And the FDA does need to be looked at.
They need to be reined in for sure.
Look, we all know about the big pharma. You see the commercials every 5 seconds, and they're like 30 minutes long. And
only 2 countries in the world allow this, by the way.
Side effects may include your head falling off.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And one, they are. Go ask Alice in a nutshell. One pill does this, and then we'll give you the other pill, and then this pill, and that pill. Rabbit. And they got people hooked on all these horrible, heinous, shitty ass drugs that are just fucking your body up. And they go after herbalists. And, as an herbalist, you have to say, you need to consult your physician. The one that's pushing all the pills.
Because I can't prescribe by law.
So...
Even though I've been keeping myself alive without insurance, I mind you, for years.
Maybe a little shake-up away from big pharma would be helpful. So, hence, I'm on the fence. Yes, he's a fucking lunatic.
But maybe he'll do some good as that lunatic.
But even lunatics speak the truth once in a while.
Well, see, if he's crazy enough, he can get some shit done. Because he'll be like a rabid squirrel. Yeah.
He talks like one.
Oh my God!
But
no, I mean, with the FDA, it has been heinous. They've gone after the sacred medicine. They've gone after common, everyday traditional.
Firesider.
I know. Well, yeah, they tried to take Firesider away from us.
It wasn't
Comfrey? Them. It was a court case from one corporation who was trying to say that we were using the name Firesider and that it was patented by them. And we're like, you can't patent something that we've been calling it for hundreds of years and been using for hundreds of years. And we fought and we won. And then Comfrey was another one. It was one of the herbs on the market that I think some senator's wife used, and she gave herself liver disease. She overused it. And this is with anything. But then she took it to court and tried to take it away from us. We only very recently won battles for natives to use sacred medicine and not be prosecuted for it. Only very recently. But why should it just be that? Why should you tell anybody with a native plant growing in the United States that they cannot use it?
And herbalism,
that it is illegal.
Herbalism was always for the people.
Yes.
For those of us that couldn't afford health insurance, couldn't afford physicians,
and didn't want that poison in our body.
Yeah, or that, or they were too far away. They're up in the mountains of Appalachia. There was maybe one doctor for 100 square miles.
That's where I come from.
So you learn what herbs will make you well, what herbs will keep you well, It's I don't know if y'all realize it, but when you come in here, you're getting Appalachian medicine.
Yes, you are.
You're getting Appalachian magic. I was
born, bred, and raised on it.
That's where she's from.
Yeah.
I lived down there for 20 years.
Yeah. He thought we were singing for the first 5 years he was there.
What are these people doing? Everybody's singing to me. How y'all doing? What? I'm from Flint, fucking Michigan. What are you saying? Over yonder about it.
We all sound like auctioneers.
Motherfucker, what?
We do.
Flash forward 2 years later, I'm all
and loves it now. And it's like lyrics. It's like a melody to him when he hears it. It's like, yes, these are my people.
Well, those hills.
They'll get in your head. They
those hills are like no other place on earth. And I've been all over this country.
Yeah.
There is nowhere like Appalachia. And there's a different kind of magic in those hills.
Yes.
And it's dark and lovely.
Yes, it is.
But the medicine that comes out of there, that's first medicine. That's
incredible.
What us poor folks used.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't use the other shit.
Yeah.
And most of us didn't trust it anyway. And now you see why.
Yeah.
See all the people in addiction to the horrible meds and what it does. It wreaks havoc on your body because, what'd you say, it strips the molecule.
Yeah.
And they only use one part of it, whereas the herb is a full spectrum application.
Yeah, it's got all the supports in the whole herb. So when they're synthesizing, and now what's really creepy is they're synthesizing without plant matter. And that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
So when they were synthesizing drugs from the first medicine, they would find a bioactive compound in the leaf, root, or stem, or in the flower, and they would isolate that compound out because it was the most powerful part of it. But they seem to forget that the body is now going to see that as a hostile agent in the body. So it's going to not recognize it because you've stripped all of the supporting bioactive compounds around it that make it a whole food, that make it a whole nutrient, a whole herb. And so the body thinks, okay, we've got alien invaders, we got to fight it back. So that's where you get side effects. It's because these synthesized drugs, the body's trying to process it and can't figure out how. And it starts fighting back at it. And so then you got to go back to them for drugs that can counteract the ill effects of the synthesized drug. And with herbalism, we look at it as components of the whole. And we take whole herbs to create formulas that support and soothe. You'll have something that's the main activator in the compound. You'll have a catalyst, and then you'll have the support herbs, and they help, rush things through the body. They help flush things out. They help take down inflammation, the whole 9 yards. So we look at a whole body approach to it when we come from the herbalism, as opposed to, hey, let's kill this thing with toxins. Like cancer is killed with chemo and radiation. Both are toxic approaches to killing a cancer. When an herbalist will tell you, feed the body, nourish it, take out all the sugars and things that cancer feeds on. Because those things make cancer grow and make it more, more powerful and more malignant. So herbs have always been the whole body approach.
Yeah, and they definitely, absolutely have saved me many, many times. Yeah. And yeah, they take a little longer.
Yes, because they are a whole thing.
But once they kick in,
they're not as targeted.
Holy shit. And learning how to tincture is going to be something that you want to know.
Yes.
Who knows what's going to happen.
I think we're going to have to learn how to distill too.
To the stores.
Yeah, because what's going to happen to the liquor stores?
Are you going to be able to get, who knows what these crazy people are going to do. They have a thought that pops in their head and that sounds good. Let's
off
make
to the
that
races.
There's not any thinking, forward thinking.
It's like watching Chimney Rock. This last week I was watching a town hall meeting there, right? And they got completely destroyed. Chimney Rock pretty much got wiped off the face of the map.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, in Hurricane Helene. And these idiots were like, there's a lady living on the southeast side of Chimney Rock across the river who still has no water, even though Chimney Rock has the water back. And all she wanted him to do was just run a single pipe, put a spigot on it, run a single pipe across the river so we can stop going to the river with pails and bailing out water and taking it home and having to sterilize it. And they told her no, because they want to spend $288,000 a month on officers, guards, to walk around Chimney Rock and keep out tourism, because people coming in there for disaster tourism. When what we did in other places where we had disasters, we put up a sign that said, you're here at your own risk, and we're not sending EMS out to get you because we can't pull EMS away from our people in our efforts to rebuild. And so you will not have the avail of any of our public services. If you were here and you were injured, you were on your own, and that's perfectly legal and perfectly binding, and they put big signs up at all entrances to the area.
Well, you're a bag of shit if you're going there to sightsee people in misery anyway.
Yeah, you should fall on your face.
You're a fucking bag of shit.
Yeah, you are.
Go to the movies or something. Fuck off.
Yeah.
People are struggling. They're living in tents. I don't know if you saw Tay's video, but go watch it.
Yeah. And you're going to hear people, and I want to posit this while you're saying that, because that's a good point, that are saying, this ain't happening here. It's not happening in Barrettsville. It's not happening in Swannanoa, and it's not happening in Asheville, because you know why? They got national attention. Yeah. And so they got a lot of help all at once in those areas, Black Mountain, all those areas. It is happening in outlying areas. There's a couple of counties up there that don't even allow a shed on your property by ordinance, okay? So you can't even erect a tiny house. They consider it a shed. And they've had people come in and bring tiny houses in, like hundreds at a time. And then the inspectors come in and say, no, you can't put this up there. It's not safe. It hasn't been inspected. Yet a tent is safe somehow?
Yeah, those inspectors need to be gone.
Yes. Well, there needs to be a moratorium on all of the ordinances for now. And the governor needs to institute a moratorium.
But it shouldn't even take that. I mean, if you have common sense and you see people
and common decency
are surviving a tragedy, a disaster.
Yeah.
And you're over there fucking with them about fucking ordinances.
Yeah.
Get fucked, dude.
My boys and girls from Appalachia are smart, though. They're going to put wheels on the tiny house.
I hope it happens to them.
I do too.
And then they're in that position because, people have no understanding or empathy unless it happens to them. Not in the very least. That is the tragedy. Yeah. That you can't look at something independently and go, that's fucking shitty as hell. Yeah. How can I help? Instead of, coming up with your bureaucratic fucking crap. There's no time and place for that right now.
It is BS.
That's when the sun is shining and everything's great and everybody's living in homes. You can't put that shed there.
So if you're listening...
Not when they're fucking struggling to survive.
No, not at all. If you're listening, put some pressure on the government there. Write the government there, write the governor, write the senators, write the lieutenant governor, write everybody, call everybody, drive them absolutely crazy. Because these people, I found out this week, are still paying mortgages for houses that no longer exist.
Insurance denying their claims.
Yes, insurance is denying their claims. These people were not in a floodplain, so they should have been covered. But insurance is using the excuse that the water was moving, so that's why they're not paying the claim.
It's absolute disgusting bullshit.
It's insane.
And Roy Cooper and people are like, oh, put the Democrats in charge, it'll be great. No, here's a perfect example of a fucking idiot.
Yeah, who's not thinking.
Who wants to smile and all shucks you to death and down home homilies. But when people in his state need help, what's he doing?
But I'm wondering,
ignoring them.
What does it take for a governor to place a moratorium? It has to go through the state house, right? So he's got some pushback there because Mark Robinson is still in power.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Fucking try.
Yeah.
Fucking try.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and play golf while you have citizens of your state having to boil water to drink and living in a tent in the middle of fucking winter.
And we lost somebody in that snowstorm. Because of it. I mean, their tents were literally blowing away in those high winds. And
this is where you look at the libertarians and go, oh, okay, you were right.
You got a point.
Don't trust the government.
You had an entire
they're not going to be
point.
there for you.
No, they're not.
You have to be there for you.
Yes.
And you have to be there for your neighbors.
And that's what's happening at
Get
large.
some fucking empathy for the person next to you instead of judging them.
Yeah.
Get some fucking empathy.
Yeah.
Speaking of empathy, in our bathroom. Look.
The lid.
I know it's a little thing.
Yeah.
But it's a courtesy that we provide a customer bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And you're working me to death.
And look, not to gross you out, but the amount of people that have a manure spreader in their ass and spray the fucking thing with fucking shit.
And get it on the seat.
Leave their toilet paper on top of the wastebasket.
Yeah.
Take a huge dump and then walk out into a store full of people with a fucking door wide open.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell your fucking ass,
No,
dude.
I was gagging, dude. Gag.
And then look at me like I'm the rude one.
Yeah.
What? So...
And your target practice is needed. You need target practice.
If you're shooting with a snub nose...
Sit down.
Sit the fuck down. If you don't have the trajectory performance... Sit the fuck down.
It's like every other day I walk in there and stick to the floor and go, ow!
I mean, this is not a truck stop.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a retail store. Mm-hmm. If you can't manage your bodily functions without sharing with the fucking crew, do it somewhere else.
The lid on the trash can, by the way, lifts and you don't even have to touch it. You use your foot.
Or everyone's going to lose the bathroom. We will lock the fucking door and you can go to the gas station and go there. We had to put a sign on the trash can, no food or drinks. Somebody will hold up a half full drink. Does this count?
Yes.
Does it have drink in it?
Pour it out in the bathroom and then you can throw the cup away.
But no, today we walk in with a dozen liquids all in the I'm like... Common courtesy, guys.
I have carpet on the floor.
We don't have a janitorial team.
We are the janitorial.
We are the janitorial team, and we don't want to clean up your crap.
Literally.
So if you still want to use the bathroom, you're a guest. Act like it. I'm just, look, what is wrong with you?
I had somebody set the toilet paper on the wet counter the other day. Ruined a roll of toilet paper. Instead of putting it on the hanger, they set a roll of toilet paper in the water on the counter.
But yet they want to come out and go, your toilet paper was hung backwards. I don't like the way the roll was. You know what? We'll worry about the way the roll is hanging when people can fucking use it and keep the shit in the toilet and not all over it.
Yeah.
That
was crazy. Why do you lean up when you go number two? Why?
I mean...
Sit flat.
Does your mama have to teach you how to use potty again? Stop it. It's just...
If you are leaning up to go like that, you do not have enough fiber in your diet. Because if you sit on the toilet longer than 10 minutes to go to the bathroom, then you're going to have some serious stomach problems down the line and some serious intestinal problems that are going to take surgery. So don't do that to yourself.
Our first store, the bathroom didn't work the last 6 months we were there. They're fucking idiots. Were cutting holes in the floor and balancing plywood. We
flooded my
couldn't let
sales
anybody
floor
in
with
there.
sewage.
So we couldn't let anybody use the bathroom. And we were thrilled to be here where we actually have a working industrial bathroom.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah.
And Tay cleans that thing every day, and the amount of nonsense... stop.
I walked in this morning, and there's a flip-top trash can that you don't even have to touch. It's got a foot pedal.
It is a courtesy, and it's one that look, we will put a lock on the door, and you will go in, and one of us is going in behind you, and we will fucking embarrass you.
Yes, we will.
Okay?
We will call you
Don't
out.
make us have to act like that. I don't want to be that way. I want to think of you as an adult, as a person who has respect for others' time and uses the bathroom like a grown fucking person.
Yeah, we want to think of you as community and friends, and we want our house. This is like our house because we basically live here. We want it to be open and welcome to everybody.
I mean, I've found teacups in the tarot cards. People just leave shit everywhere like they're at fucking Target.
Yeah.
You know,
we do not have a staff. We are the staff.
This is a small little store, and we put signs up. It don't fucking matter. Nobody reads signs.
I know.
You know, but
there's a sign on the door about your politics and your religion and all that shit, and I'm still hearing it from you. Oh my God!
I'm telling you, if you shit it up and you leave the door open, you shit it up, and we got to clean up. I'm gonna walk out on the floor and fucking embarrass you. So stop it.
And I'm just going to say this about your juxtapositioning and your crowing when you're here about whatever is going on in your world and your politics and your spirituality. You're probably standing at the counter with a Republican and a Democrat. You're probably standing at the counter with a Libertarian or a Green Party and a Republican and a Democrat. You're probably standing at the counter with a Christian and a Catholic and a Muslim and a Buddhist and a pagan and a witch. Everybody's here because that's how we roll. Because this is one big community, and we're trying to show that we can fucking live together and take care of one another and get along and have something absolutely beautiful if we can all lay our bullshit aside for 5 seconds.
One lady was shocked when I told her, I said, we have a ton of Christian customers.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Really? I'm like,
yes.
Of course. We don't give a shit. We welcome everybody.
I will teach you how to use the Psalms as spell work while you stand at the counter. I do it on the daily.
Absolutely.
I have people come to me and say, but I'm a Christian. What can I do? And I'm like, what kind of Christian practice do you have?
Yeah.
So is it specifically Jesus? Is it Mary? Is it angelic? Who do you pray to? Do you have saints? Let's talk. And I will walk you through how to use that in your practice. And this is what we deal with on the daily, and this is exactly how we want it. We love that diversity of people that come through this door because we learn things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've always welcomed everybody. We always will.
Yes.
It's not that kind of place.
No.
And it's a place of peace, and it's a space where you can be who you are and not be judged.
Yeah.
You know, and
but just know when you're talking, somebody's listening that might have a different viewpoint.
Yeah.
And they might want to talk to you about that. And I expect you to act like an adult.
Yeah.
And have a conversation, not a screaming match.
It's not a personal attack. Yeah. It's just people have different belief systems. People have different priorities. You know, empathy.
Yes.
Empathy.
And compassion.
It doesn't have to affect you to be important.
We can't stand up to the dictators of the world if we can't stand up for each other. And it's really that simple. And you've got to look at each other. We are one damn tribe. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your philosophies are. I don't care about any of that. We all hail from one common ancestor. And you need to get over yourself and realize you're standing at that counter next to your brother and sister. I don't care who you are, but you are. And that's the basic fact. And we need to remember how to treat each other accordingly.
Absolutely.
And we need to think if some little asshole walks in here and says, your body, my choice, I want 5 of y'all to jump on him and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know, because he needs to learn a very salient lesson that his mama and daddy didn't teach him.
Yeah.
You know, you need to look at that person standing next to you at the counter. Unless they've walked in screaming and causing trouble. You need to look at them as part of your tribe. and one of your brothers and sisters. And you need to be super protective of them because they would not be here if they did not want to be one of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If they didn't want to be one with this community and didn't want to support us, they wouldn't be standing there.
Mm-mm.
So try to remember that and try to be there for each other. And this is the big caveat coming up into January that everybody is so scared about. We have to remember who the tribe is, and they are not the tribe.
No, they are not. They are driving the clown car.
Yes. They're our entertainment for the next 4 years. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be hurtful. There's gonna be some bad shit.
Oh, yes.
But if we're working together, we can weather the storm a lot more
We've
effectively.
got a lot of agencies already going into full battle mode.
Absolutely.
To protect our rights and to, keep those constitutional rights enshrined. And to make sure that things are buttoned down and I'm trying to say it. Batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
They're trying to make sure that that's all done ahead of time. They're working in the background for you because they're smart. And I need you to be smart too.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. We're not naive.
Yeah.
These are some fucking wackadoodles.
Yeah.
But we know how to deal with wackadoodles.
We do it all the time.
It's
We've done it for centuries. This is not new.
Just stop being afraid. Don't acquiesce.
Yeah.
Don't bend a knee.
For the first time ever, the great experiment called America is being challenged. It's being challenged. Every single major civilization faces this at one point in time or another. They face this coming on their shores. And they face this challenge to whatever republic they've built. So it's how you respond to it that makes all the difference. Mm. Don't let us be Rome.
And if you are a practitioner, now's the time to start broadening your horizons a little bit.
Yes.
It's time to move away from the Scott Cunningham books. It's time to develop yourself. It's time to learn,
build
and
your shield
practice.
Wall. Yep.
And there's a lot more to it than just white girl magic. Mm-hmm. Okay. And now's the time to start looking at the books on the top shelf.
Yes.
And maybe you don't understand it right away. Ask somebody.
Yes.
Somebody here will know.
And we'll walk you through
and
it.
we'll help you.
Yeah.
Now's the time to broaden your horizons, to be stronger.
Yes.
More informed about how things work and why they work. Put this little 101 spell books aside because we need to step it up.
Now it's time for developing those relationships with spirit and that nation building that comes from that. And it literally does. And I just had this speech with someone last night. For all the trials, tribulations, and troubles you're going through and you're wanting to throw a spell at it, have you thought about developing a relationship with your guardians and your ancestors?
Because that's what it's about,
because
right?
They're the ones that are working for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's like somebody we had that issue with one of the vendors, and don't they know you guys are magic workers? Do you think I'm wasting herbs on that?
No, not at all.
No, these relationships that I've cultivated for 40 years.
Yes.
They take care of that.
Yes, they do.
I don't have to lift a finger.
No.
And things happen.
We didn't even say anything. Things
happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And coming in and asking for a spell belies your lack of understanding of how this thing works.
Yeah.
You have to develop that relationship.
It is all about relationships, just like in politics, just like in the world.
Just like in business culture.
In that world, it's also the same. It's all about the relationship.
Everybody was always shocked how fast I could complete projects or I could take a problem project and fix it.
Yeah.
Or it was, way out of whack, and now all of a sudden, not only were we on track, we're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
It's because I had relationships with people in other business towers.
Yeah.
And instead
all around the world too.
Instead of just writing some random peon, no, I had connections with the people that actually pull the levers, and that's how you get things done.
Cultivate.
You don't argue with peons.
Yeah.
You talk to people that can actually affect change, and they're not going to listen to the little people. But if the little people speak with one voice, it's much, much more powerful.
Now listen, it's so simple as, I know some of you are out there going, but how do I do that? It's as simple as starting daily devotionals, light a candle, and start calling the names of your ancestors. And when you call them, remember, there were things they liked and things they enjoyed in flesh. And you want to offer those things. You want to make sure that they know that they're welcome in that space, that this is now their home. And so you're going to feed them. You're going to give them the food that you eat. You're going to give them the drink that you drink. You're going to give them the things that they loved. For instance, with my mom, I knew she loved flowers. And I knew that was the one thing that brought her true peace, was working in her garden and playing in the flowers and having her sunroom full of plants. So where did I put her ashes? In my plants. They're sitting with my plants. And so she is there and she's happy and she gets tended there. With my daddy, I knew he loved his music. So he was with his guitar. Daddy's ashes were with his guitar and with his mandolin. And it's surrounded by things that I knew he loved. She loved dark chocolate covered cherries best. I keep one on her jar of ashes at all times. He loved his coffee. I keep him coffee right beside it. I change this out really, really often. I feed my house spirits. Every house comes with spirits. So I try to never banish them, because the first law of thermodynamics says energy cannot be created nor can it be destroyed. Energy is constant and it's finite. And so it keeps re-expressing itself in other ways. So it passes on in molecules through other bodies and through other matter in the area. When that body dies, when that body is extinguished, the soul goes on, as does the energy. So I know that, and I realize that energy that's in that house has been pets. It has been people. It has been everything, and it's welcome. And I make sure it knows it's welcome.
That's why when we post the TikToks of the activity in the store, and we have 1,001 Ghostbusters wanting to bring their fucking electronic devices in and play with them.
And irritate them.
And that's not what we do. That's why we don't allow it. Because
these are our friends and our family.
They're friends and family, and you're not going to bother them with that. You can appreciate it for when it happens, like, oh, that's pretty remarkable display,
Yeah.
We come in and find stuff on the floor, and we run the camera back. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And it's not to entice the paranormal community to come in and do what they do.
You're not going to insult them that way.
And we don't have anything against you. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Do your thing. That is not what we do.
You are there for when a spirit is restless and angry.
Yeah.
And people need help communicating with it. That's the place. People that aren't in this body of work don't understand how to communicate with spirit, and that's your place, and I love that. And I think that's where you really shine. But here, where we cultivate these relationships and have always cultivated these relationships, and they are fed here on the daily. Look on my altar, and you will see they are fed on the daily. They are also fed at a tree. We always have a sacred tree wherever we are, and we take care of everything in nature there. So everything in nature that's helped hold the building together and hold things together and is the glue for the place, that's connected to the mycelium that traverses the entire earth, is fed, and it's kept knowing that it's nurtured in return for the nurturing it gave us. And that's it. That's how you form relationships. And I literally talk to them. And they show themselves. And that's what you're seeing in the activity here, is that is a spirit well-fed, well-nurtured, and not afraid to be who it is right where it's at.
Yep.
And it knows it's recognized and seen. And so the minute that they know that they're recognized and seen, you start having activity. And you can respond to that two ways. You can be fearful because you don't understand what it is, or you can go, oh my God, that is so cool of you to show me yourself.
Yeah.
And thank you. I love that. I want you to feel welcome.
Absolutely.
Just like we want you to feel welcome. And we want everybody else that comes in here to feel welcome. But that's how you build relationships with spirit. So build your damn relationships with spirit, because you need them now more than ever. Don't chase them away. Don't try to banish them. Don't get rid of them. They're there for a reason, and you need to figure out what that reason is.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for listening.
Love you all.
We'll try to be more consistent. Just depends on our tired to whatever ratio.
When we can stop passing the flu back and forth like it's a volleyball.
But, have a great week, and hope everything goes the way you want.
Love you so much. Bye. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of In the Weeds, and we hope you didn't have to pick too much pucker brush off your cloak after visiting with us here. If you liked the episode, please follow, subscribe, and share. And if you're really kind, leave a positive review. Be sure to tune in next week as we publish a new episode weekly. If you're in the area, stop by the store and see us. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.